This short video will take you through how to receipt goods on Agresso. In Agresso, the person who raised the requisition will have been emailed a copy of the purchase order. The purchase order number is used to receipt the goods or services being received. It will be easily identifiable as the 9-digit purchase order code will always start with 700. It is important to receipt goods or services as soon as possible after you have received them. If a good is not receipted, then finance are unable to pay the invoice, and this can damage supplier relationships. If you are trying to receipt a good and get any type of error message, this must be reported to IT through the Ask IT portal so that it can be rectified and the goods receipted. Do not just ignore this, as your supplier will not receive payment. Anyone can receipt goods. It does not have to be the person who placed the order. All that is required is the purchase order number. To receipt a good where all items on the purchase order have been delivered, select Procurement from the menu on the left-hand side of the Agresso landing screen. Select Goods Receipt. The Goods Receipt screen will then be displayed. Type the purchase order number for the order into the Order Number field. Press the Tab key on your keyboard or click on the next field across. In the Delivery Date field, enter the date the goods were received. The easiest way to do this is to use the Calendar function button adjacent to the field. Then enter the time using the 24-hour clock that the goods or services were received. In the Order Details section, you will see the details of all the items ordered under that purchase order number. For each row, enter the number of items received in Quantity Received field. Click on the tick box adjacent to the row of items where they have been delivered and click Goods Received. Then click Save. A pop-up box will be displayed that will provide the receipt number. This will be a 9-digit code that will always start with 900. We will now show you how to receipt goods where there are multiple items and only some of which have been received. On the Goods Receipt screen, enter the purchase order number for the item into the Order Number field. Press the Tab key on your keyboard or click on the next field across. In the Delivery Date field, enter the date the goods were received. The easiest way to do this is to use the Calendar function button adjacent to the field. Then enter the time the goods or services were received using the 24-hour clock. In the Order Details section, you will see the details of all the items ordered under that purchase order number. If you have not received an entire quantity requested, do not select the tick box adjacent to this row, and this will ensure that the order line remains open for you to goods receipt the outstanding items once they have arrived. For example, if you're expecting multiple quantities of items, but only 2 out of the 3 being expected are received, enter 2 in the Quantities Received field. This will leave the remaining item to be goods receipted when it arrives at a later date. Once you have correctly recorded the goods that have been received, click Goods Received. Then click Save. A pop-up box will be displayed that will provide the receipt number. This will be a 9-digit code that will always start with 900. If you find that there are products or services listed on the purchase order number that you now no longer wish to receive and therefore need to be cancelled, then contact the procurement team on procurement@anchorhanover.org.uk. You will need to provide details of the purchase order number and the products or services that need to be cancelled and why, so that they can arrange this for you. If you receive a product that is incorrect and needs to be returned, then the item should still be goods receipted in the normal way. The credit note that will be issued by the supplier on receiving the product back will be processed by the finance team against the original purchase order number that the product was purchased against. You have now successfully receipted goods on Agresso.